Thanks for tuning in to the video. I really appreciate all the support. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. Also, I would love for you guys to share the video on your Instagram or your Facebook or anything like that. I really appreciate the support in that way as well. Keep in mind that there may be people who can definitely benefit from this, and you sharing will get the word out and the video out and setting captives free and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. I do want to talk about a subject that's kind of near and dear to me, only because I was definitely in this situation that I'm going to be talking about now. Only a few months ago, I'm newly married, and I was definitely here. The subject that I want to talk about today is a subject on how we disqualify ourselves, and we disqualify ourselves from marriage. We say that there are certain things that we have to do before we get married. There's a whole list of them. I'm not in the financial situation I want to be in. The Lord is showing me some things about my character that I don't want to mess anybody up. I have children. No one's going to want anybody with children. No man is going to say yes to being an instant father. All of these things are what I've talked to myself about. And I believe it's complete deceit. It's complete deceit. And whether it's deceit from the enemy, or it's deceit from people, or deceit from our own minds, or our own ways of thinking, maybe it's the way that we grew up, but it's complete deceit. The criteria for marriage is what God says the criteria for marriage is, not for what the world says the criteria for marriage is. It is not having a particular degree, it's not having a particular amount in the bank account, a particular credit score, whatever the case is. You cannot disqualify yourself based off of what you don't have or what you do. It doesn't work like that. And I believe it's a dangerous game to play when we try to play God in our own lives. We try to tell God what we're ready for and what we're not. When I first met my husband, I had just gotten divorced a few months beforehand. Let me rewind. I didn't just meet him. I've known him. But when we first started courting, I had just gotten divorced. I had 2 children. I had a 1-year-old and a 9-year-old. I had just started a new job from being unemployed for a while. My car had just broken down. Now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, yeah, I was in a bad situation. Anybody looking from the outside in who did not operate in wisdom and wasn't led by the Holy Spirit will probably say, you're not ready for marriage. And I myself said I was not ready for marriage. And I thank God that my husband is the man who he is, and he prays and he trusts in the Lord. And when the Lord told him that I was his wife, he was relentless, and he stuck with me, and he loved me through my own deceit. And so I want to encourage that person. If you don't have the education you want, if you don't have the money you want, if you're not in the situation you want to be in, that's all fine and dandy, but you cannot tell God what you're ready for. You cannot put out in the atmosphere like that, like, oh, I'm not ready for a husband. Well, you're not going to find a husband if you keep saying that. If you keep thinking that you're not enough, you're not going to be enough. And so you have to realize that God sees you completely differently than you do, and he doesn't see you for what you're lacking. He sees you for who you are. And you have to ask God to show me who I am and show me what I need to change. It's one thing to see things in yourself that you just want to change and you just want to develop. There's always room for development, and there's always room for improvement, but you don't have the liberty to make up the rules of your life. You don't have the liberty of putting timestamps on when things happen for you, because when you do that, you're playing a really dangerous game. You're playing God in your own life. So I encourage you to seek God and see what God says about your life. See what he says that you need to change and develop before marriage. And maybe there isn't anything. There are so many things that I am just now understanding about myself that I don't like and that I want to change. My eyes weren't even open to those things until I got into a relationship. And my husband doesn't have to tell me about them. His presence tells me about them. The things that I say to him is like, oh, I don't like that about myself. The Holy Spirit is constantly telling me things that I need to change. I want to develop as a person. I do want to do different things in my life. But my husband is qualified to help me with those things. And so I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to stop disqualifying yourself. Stop telling yourself that you're not good enough. Stop listening to people telling you what you can and cannot do. My pastor says a story about how his pastor, years ago, I believe it was his pastor, said that you're not married, you're not ready for marriage if you still live with your parents. And at the time he was still living with his parent. And if he would have listened to him, he probably would have never been married to his wife right now. And he takes wonderful care of his wife, a wonderful provider. But the fact that he was living with his parents was not a disqualification for marriage. But someone told him that. And so I encourage you to seek the Lord, pray out your destiny, ask God to help you with your purpose and help you pursue your purpose. And then your husband and your wife will come, but you are qualified. And it's up to you to see yourself the way God sees you. And that's it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time for watching the video. Again, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will definitely see you next time. All right, bye.